So I want to give you a quick tip on how to be efficient with your weights as a bodybuilder specifically in order to avoid needlessly getting tired in the gym for no reason. So I'm going to use today's workout for an example. This is a decent exercise, decent weight, decent rep range, but the actual weights in this situation, and this is in the deep in a workout, so it's not the most fresh state. So that's why it's even more exhausting. But that's not a good thing, and that's giving us problems. One of those problems is that it takes a lot of oxygen to do these reps, a lot of oxygen to the muscles of the body to move that much range of motion. It's so much, but there's a way to avoid this without having to change the exercise or rep range or anything. So if we take another exercise, maybe one that we pair it with, and if we look at our workout, we will find that the first exercise is really hard, and then by the time you're in the second exercise, you don't want to do it. And I didn't want to do either one. I didn't want to do either exercise today. I didn't want to do any lifts. I was actually not wanting to work out at all. So this really affected me. But if I were to instead do these, because these uh, froze, but so if we were to do these instead, they don't take that much energy. They don't take very much oxygen. You see, it's not as much movement overall. And because of that, even if I moved a lot of weight with this movement, it wouldn't take that much oxygen. See, you see how much little torso movement there is? Look, are you kidding me? That would be a quarter squat of upper body movement. And that's the biggest segment right there. The other leg's not doing anything. This leg's the only one that's moving, really. The other leg does kind of a rep, but it's not really a full rep, and the weight's really light for it. The only leg that's working hard is this leg, and that's a good thing. It means we don't have to use as much energy to move everything. We don't have to move everything. We just move the muscle. And if we were to take this and put it first in the workout and then do the squat afterwards, you will use less weight on the squat, which is good for you and your back and your recovery, but it'll be as effective. You can use a higher rep range. I could take less than 2 plates on the original lift that I showed, 185, less than that, 10 to 20 reps. It's very viable. It sounds like bitch weight, but why would a bodybuilder need to lift a heavy weight? Is there a benefit to linearly progressing to 315, even if you could linearly progress to 315, which I might be able to for the same reps on that as a hack squat? Is it better to do that, even though because it looks nice, it's a big heavy weight, even though 165 is like half the weight, but it feels like nothing. It barely takes any wind out of you. Doesn't do anything to your recovery. It's like free gains. Like you don't have to even work that hard. Versus, having to work really hard, but not getting that much more, if more at all. It's your preference if you want to lift heavy, but if you want to be a smart bodybuilder, you opt for things that cost less but give more. So that's a tip to avoid, and you can do this on a barbell squat too. You can do a unilateral anything, unilateral leg press, unilateral leg extension, something where you can overload without having to use a lot of movement through your entire body, and then you can use the bigger movement with less weight, and it's as effective. And I don't see people employ this strategy. They call it, I don't know, what do they call it? They call it pre-exhaust, but it's not pre-exhaust because the squat isn't the workout. The squat is one lift in a workout. You can put it at any point in the workout. You don't have to put it first. I don't know. People still really think you need to do the biggest lift first. I don't know if you should, honestly. But that was a rant. Just a little tirade. Going on for 3 minutes. Yeah. So with this example, I could use this weight and linearly progress this weight the same way I linearly progress the heavier lift, but it won't ever exhaust me as much, even if I lift heavy on this variation, and the other variation will be too light to exhaust me, and that's a good thing because I'm pre-exhausted from the hamstring work that I did before this. So if I do that, psychologically, physically, these workouts won't be bad. They'll be pretty easy. They'll be not very expensive on my body. These weights aren't even challenging to that degree either. That's the thing, though. Because I am so psychologically and systematically broken down, I can't lift anything by the time I'm on this lift. But if I do it before the other lift, then psychologically and physically I can do this lift and overload it, plus low RIR, whatever you want to call it. And then the other lift, I can do that one low RIR. It's a great deal, right? So that's some advice. It's not the best option for everybody, or everyone should do it. If you're a beginner, you don't need, this is a personal thing. If you are affected this much, and realistically, when you're getting between 2 and 3 plates on a harder variation for reps like that, it starts getting hard. So those people should consider it. But you don't have to do it. It's a variation, one approach. Take it or leave it. It's just advice, though. You don't need to be reckless. You can get hurt. And who wants to get hurt? We're trying to be smart, not like meathead bodybuilders. Smart, dorky bodybuilders.